Hi guys, this is Ramzy from Jugulator, and you are listening to the Dan Shan Show.
Hey Ramsey, now you are the first North African metal band on the show. I've had South African bands, but never North African. You are from the band Jugulator. You are so welcome to the show. How are you this evening?
I'm really good. Thank you for the invitation, and it's an honor for us to be a part of this interview.
Cool, excellent. Whereabouts in Algeria are you?
I'm in Algiers,
Algiers, the capital, for those
yeah,
that
the
don't know.
capital.
I bet it's really warm now.
Uh, 30, 32,
Nice
33
average. That's about the same as where I am now. It's nice temperature. I'm very used to that. So,
today,
today, of course, today. Yeah,
because
yeah.
yesterday it was like 39 or
Oof,
40. Yeah?
that's
So
too much for me. That's way too much, man.
it's
That's way too
it's
much.
hell. It's hell, Algeria.
Algeria. I love that. I've seen that a lot on your Instagram calling it Algeria. I love that. I love that. We'll get into that as we go through the interview. So your new album, Imperator Insector, came out only a few weeks ago now on July the 24th. How's the reaction been to it so far?
For the moment, the reactions are really good. I have seen some reviews with a positive return, positive back. Also for the Algerian audience, radios or stuff like that, and of course the public and our fans are really impressed by the album, the quality, and the concept and all this.
Excellent.
For the
Now,
moment, it's good.
awesome. Awesome. Are you the kind of guy that goes looking for the reviews? Do you have a look at them when you see them, or do you kind of avoid them?
Usually, I received emails.
I see.
I received emails. There is a review. Okay, and often I go to see is there any more or a new review.
Yeah, I
So
see.
each day is different.
And obviously, you've had some good positive stuff so far.
Yeah, of
Awesome.
course.
Now, the deluxe
Because
version. Go on. Sorry, carry on.
it's really important for us because we spend a lot of time and energy to do this album,
Of
so
course.
we want to see the return quickly.
Yeah, yeah, of course, absolutely. You need to feel that. And obviously, you've had the deluxe version of the album has many guests and collaborations. What did you re-record those? Because obviously, it's like a mirrored this disc one, disc two, shall we say? Disc two is the same tracks as disc one, but with guests involved. Did you re-record it, or did you add the guests to it? Tell me how that came about and the guests on the second part and everything.
The idea of the guests was like when we wrote the concept of the album. As you read, it's a future, an alternative future of like sci-fi films,
Yeah.
And when we identify the thread, I said, okay, now we need an army to face this enemy,
Yeah.
so we will call guests, and
Yeah.
we will compose our army to defend our planet.
Because that's answered the question. Because on your Instagram, you've got all the guests listed there, and it says, I wasn't sure when I first read it at first. I was like, is this for real? Is this what's going on here? What's happening in Algeria that they need to get the guy to like? And then the penny dropped in my head and realized that this album's concept, and it's like, I see what they're doing now. I see. So the guests on the album, all Algerian friends.
19 Algerians and two French.
Of course. Yeah.
The two
Yeah.
French were from the band Gorod
Yeah.
from France, and the others, the Algerians, are musicians from different horizons.
Yeah.
some metalhead, but some musician from other music like
Yeah,
jazz,
of
classic,
course.
Algerian music,
Yeah,
traditional music.
awesome, awesome. So, how do you feel you've evolved from the last album compared to this one?
The evolution.
Yeah,
Um, I think this one is more aggressive
I agree
and
with that.
more progressive.
Hmm. Yeah,
And I think for us, it was a logic evolution. When you listen to the first album, it's a classic thrash metal,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
really classic. Because when the songs were written, I was like 20 years,
yeah,
so I was so young. And after the second, we evolved a little, more complexity and more
yeah,
variation between speed rhythms and mid tempo.
yeah,
And for the last, I said, okay, now we had to fuck it up.
yeah,
We had to give all the energy and become more aggressive, and adding some black metal parts,
yeah. I can
death
tell.
metal parts. Yeah,
Yeah,
because when you listen, even in the first album, there's a small idea of black metals, like
mm,
in the song Algeria. There is a
yeah,
little part in the second album in the song Nuclearis. So we had that, but not really. Uh, I don't know the word. It was discreet. So uh, it's just signs,
yeah,
signs.
yeah.
But now we assume that I go.
Sure.
So give all the energy, and so the evolution is like that. So become more aggressive, more progressive.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, this album had me smiling from ear to ear, to be honest with you. It had so many, there's so many things that pricked me up and got my ears going. I was like, I love that. And there's so many different influences there. I could tell it was really good. What's the writing and recording like between the four of you? You know, who has what duties? Do you write it all yourself, Ramzy, or is it shared between the four of you?
The majority, the most parts are written by myself, and when I present the songs to the friends,
Yeah.
they gives me more ideas or propositions, and
Yeah.
sometimes we say, okay, okay, retry, replay. Yeah,
It
it's a
works.
good idea. So we'll fix it. Okay, we change.
Nice. So
It's
what,
like that.
obviously this is a concept album, but on previous records and singles, what's the themes? What do you like to write about?
Okay, you have to understand that the three albums are a trilogy.
It's a trilogy. I didn't know that. Right. Okay. I
Yeah,
understand. Right.
the
Okay.
three albums is a trilogy. So it's one story divided
Yeah.
on three
Yeah. I
parts.
get it. Yeah.
And the idea, so the beginning in the Addictitium, I, I said, okay, we have to talk about uh, real historical events
Yeah.
that we lived in Algeria.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, the black, we call it the Black Decade, 10 years in the 90s, 10 years of terrorism
Yeah.
and violence.
Yeah.
So we lived that. So the Algerian Black Decade, the Arabic Spring in
Yeah. Well,
2012,
the track Civil War and things like that. That came to mind.
Civil War. Yeah, it's talking about the Algerian Black
Yeah.
Decade.
Yeah.
So we start to talk about real events.
Mhm.
And the second album, we imagine a future, an alternative future, a what if humanity continues with their stuffs, their adjustment, their uh, um, their decisions, um, facts, their
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
when we can, where are we going?
Yeah.
So we talked about civil war or nuclear war
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
or blood on the red flag, for example. Talk
Yeah.
about a population who make a revolution to cancel the dirigents,
Yeah.
and we lived that in Algeria in 2019.
Yeah.
The Iraq, we call the Algerian
Yeah.
Revolution,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2019 in February. So it's to be continued.
I
And the
see.
third, we go into a real fiction,
The future, right? The
real,
future.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
right
Yeah.
future, like stuff like Planet of the Apes
Yeah. Yeah.
or Alien or things
Yeah. I
like
got
that.
you. So I assume that the fourth album, I mean, the trilogy is completed now, would you say?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
the fourth album, you think you'll go to a regular album? And obviously, I spoke to a few bands from Islamic countries, for example, Ex-Nun from Turkey. I spoke to Trivax from Iran, and being from Algeria, are there any subjects that you can or you won't talk about or sing about, or write tracks about? And what will the next album be like?
For the moment, I don't have a clear idea, but I have two choices. I'm saying to myself, okay, should I tell a new story and continue the trilogy?
Right.
So a new story after the insect invasion,
Yeah.
and in the end, in the song Atomic Insecticide, humanity understand their errors and win the war.
Hmm.
So I said, should I write for a new threat, a new enemy,
Yeah.
or going to more personal things or other stuff? I didn't decide yet. I have to be really good on my head
Yeah.
and inspired to decide.
Sure. Now, what's it like being a metal band in Algeria? Are there any issues that non-Algerians would probably expect? Do you have any governmental control over art and things like that? I mean, I'm a bit naive here. I don't know myself what your answer is going to be. That's why I'm asking the question.
Um, in Algeria, um, in the 90s, when the country were in troubles,
Yeah.
the heavy metal scene were really good,
Yeah.
was really good. We had a lot of bands, and it was an students
Students.
movement,
Yeah.
students movement.
Hmm.
Uh, the majority of the bands were students,
Yeah.
and it there was there were really really a lot of shows. It was good,
Yeah.
and after it became to be less important
Yeah.
because it's not a government control or stuff like that, but I think uh, government incompetence
Hmm.
in the culture segment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for example, when you go to play in a venue,
Hmm.
you have to talk with the responsible of the venue,
Yeah.
and the majority of the venues are public venues
I see.
for
Yeah.
the state venues.
Yeah.
But the man who face don't know heavy metal, don't know many things about culture and
Sure.
music.
Sure.
So okay, we'll see after, and no response.
Right.
So it became so difficult to find gigs
Yeah.
because of these persons. They are not really really competent. It's not the good person in the good place,
I understand. Do you think
and when he is a decide,
Do you
okay.
think it helps your the content of your tracks being a story and a trilogy and everything? Do you think that helps you avoid any if you were singing about, Satan or singing about anti-establishment, would that be a problem in Algeria? Or do you think the fact that you're singing about, a concept doesn't give you any problems?
No, no, they never had to find about our lyrics or stuff like that.
Okay.
But when sometimes we go on a public radio,
Yeah.
when they ask me a question and I answer that we are singing about this and that, uh, their reaction is so,
Oh,
okay, you're speaking, but I think it's not like I imagine.
right.
It's so funny when
Yeah.
you live that. But the chance we had, when you are when you have good relations with people, when you are yeah, when you have a good relations with people, they respect you and you respect them. You can have the good ways and radio emissions
Yeah.
until we had an opportunity to play
Mm.
live
Yeah.
in an Algerian television.
Right.
Yeah, you can. The videos are on our
Oh, cool.
Facebook
I'll
page.
check that out. It's very cool.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time ever in
Wow.
heavy metal scene.
Amazing.
And when if I said it to you 10 years ago, it's unbelievable,
No, yeah. That's progression.
Yes,
That's good.
it's
That's
a
good.
progression. So because as a musician, as a band,
Yeah.
you have to be really good on communication, how to
Of
present your
course.
band, to present your project,
Of
to
course.
stop the cliches. No.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that. Now, I've seen that there's like metal festivals in like Tunisia and Morocco. Do you think Algeria will ever host a festival of that kind with them bringing in international bands? And do international bands come into the country?
Uh, we had some festivals in the past,
Yeah.
and we had an international band, but majority of time is underground
Yeah.
bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's so difficult to do this in Algeria because it costs a lot, a lot.
Mm,
It costs a
hmm
lot,
hmm
and when you go to see some partners or sponsors, they don't want to associate their image with heavy metal,
I
with a
see.
music they don't
Yeah.
know.
I understand.
They say my trade near your name in Algeria, heavy
Yeah.
metal. So it's really difficult. We had a chance to play with an international band like Gorod. They
Yeah.
came in Algeria in
hmm
2019,
Yeah.
but it was with the French Institute,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah. I
it's
understand.
different.
Yeah, I understand. Now, going back in history a little bit for me, Ramsey, tell me about the history of the band. How you guys got together and what were you doing leading up to the start of the band? Were you in bands before? What got Jugulator going? So tell me more about that.
Well, I start to play. My really first band was in 2006, called Curse of Pharaoh,
Right.
and we split in 2008. And when we split, I said to myself, it's uh, it's not funny. I want to do more. The band should live longer. So I start to find a new lineup to continue what
Yeah.
I have started with Curse,
Yeah.
and it took me 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's so difficult to find the good and the right musicians with the good influence, the
Yeah.
technical level,
Sure.
the engagement, and seriously, so in the 6 years, I played with different bands in Algeria, like Thawar, Sharain, Oath,
hmm Yeah.
Atakor, Lela Hell. Uh, and in 2014, I found three other musicians to start Jugulator, and we start in August. In December, we was on the stage. We
Amazing.
were on the stage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So 4 months. Yeah, really fast.
did you reuse some of the songs you'd written back in 2006, 2008? Did you use that? Old songs?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reused one song named Ghost, the first song of the first album,
Yeah.
because in with Curse, it's one of the last songs we have write,
Yeah.
and I write it, and we never played it in live.
Yeah.
So okay, it's mine. I will do it for with Jugulator.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Now, what were your influences growing up as a kid? How did you get into metal, and was the music easily accessible for you?
Okay. I so I have when I was kid, I have my uncle. He's a rock fan, so
Yeah.
he had the t tapes of AC/DC, Guns N'
No.
Roses, Iron
Cool.
Maiden, Metallica, stuff like that. My mother also is a fan of 80s music. So
Awesome.
when you say 80s, you have a heavy metal part.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like bands like Kiss,
Yeah.
like Queen,
Yeah.
rock bands, you know.
Yeah.
So and it was accessible in Algeria because we had a tape shop,
Yeah.
official tape shop, a public tape shop.
Official.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah, and it was a small part in the shop with rock and
Yeah.
heavy metal
Yeah.
tapes. And we find, Ingwe Malmsteen, okay, best of, yeah, good. Metallica, some, not
Nice.
underground band, not death metal band or stuff like that, but more commercial band like
Yeah.
Guns,
Yeah. Yeah.
Maiden, like
Yeah.
that. And and we do our education with that.
Nice. Nice. Now, obviously, the band name, is there a Judas Priest influence there?
Not completely, but yeah, it's a part
Yeah.
because the most important is the year of the album,
Right. Yeah.
97.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Okay.
1997, we were in a really trouble situation in Algeria in the Black Decade, and I
Yeah.
have lost one of my family's members killed by terrorism. So this year stay in my mind, So I choose Jugulator because the album is was released in this year,
Yeah.
and the name sounds good.
It does.
It sounds like Creator, Annihilator,
Yeah.
Decapitator, Violator, stuff
It
like that.
does. Great name. It's a great name. Now, what about shows? Obviously, do you get much opportunity in Algeria? You've touched upon it. Obviously, all the venues are public owned. There's no like rock clubs, I assume. How often are you playing shows? And have you ever played any shows outside Algeria yet?
Outside Algeria, we never played for the moment outside of Algeria. I personally played outside of Algeria, but not with Jugulator, with another band called Lila Hell. I don't know if you know it, a death metal band.
Yeah.
We made many tours in Europe, but the
Yeah.
Jugulator, not yet. But we did a tour last year in Algeria, an
Yeah.
Algerian tour.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first Algerian tour in a lot of towns, five dates with the
Yeah.
French Institute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, to answer, to give you an answer of the frequency, how many times we played a year,
Yeah.
it depends of year, but the middle is 3 or 4 dates a
Okay.
year.
Is that
It's
because
not.
the lack of places to play, or is it because that's the amount of times you want to play? Who decides? Would you like to play more shows?
Of course, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, of course, we like to play more shows, but it's so difficult to find the venues and venues who accept a heavy metal band. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of, administrative process.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
really complicated
Wow.
to take this, and you need a validation, and the persons the
Yeah.
posts are not competent for that. So it's a
Does that
real combat.
Does that, it must be very frustrating. And does that make every gig you do feel like it could be your last? I mean, that must feel like if you're only playing 4 gigs a year, maybe, gigs are very special. I'm a former musician and drummer myself, and I used to love the stage, but to know that every time you play the gig, you're going to have to wait another 3 months before you can play another show. That must be really frustrating as an artist.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating, and we say to ourselves, let the moment have to be the longest possible to have a good show.
Mm.
And but it's there is something like um, sweet, sweet.
Yeah.
Because we know it's difficult, so we give our best every time,
Yeah. Yeah. I can
and we
imagine.
play it
I can imagine.
like you said, like it's maybe the last in this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
so
Who would,
we,
just hypothetically, obviously, who would you love to tour with Jugulator? What band out there would you love to go on the road with?
oh my God, whew, Annihilator,
Yeah. Yeah.
Testament.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That'll be a cool lineup. Now,
Yeah,
how would you describe the band in 3 words? If you had 3 words to describe the band, what words would you use?
3 words: speed, aggressive, melodic.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. What's on the band's bucket list, or maybe your bucket list? What would you like to do that you haven't done already? What would you like to achieve with Jugulator? What would you like to do?
Our goal or objective, or our goal is to exist as long as we can,
Yeah.
and doing a lot of tours in Europe or America
Yeah.
or Asia
Yeah.
or Africa. So in Tunisia,
Sure.
Morocco,
Yeah.
Egypt,
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the ideal of a band life
Mm. I'd love to see you
is
live, man. I'd love to
to
see you live.
travel.
I'd love to
Uh,
see that.
you're welcome in Algeria, and if
Yeah,
if you can invite us in Spain,
for sure.
in
Absolutely. I'd
Barcelona,
love that.
we we
We need to
we
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 need to
come with
work
pleasure.
we need to work on something. Now, what track from the new album should I play next and why?
If I had to choose one song who represent Jugulator
Yeah.
the most,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I think so. Atomic Insecticide,
Love it. Love it.
or From Underworld, or Imperator Insector.
Cool. I'll pick one of them. I'll pick my favorite of those three. I don't think I know which one it's
Yeah,
going to be. Now, finally, very important question, Ramsey. What's the
yeah.
most used emoji in your phone?
The most used emoji in my phone.
Yeah.
It's a smile, a really
Laughy
a
one.
lot,
Laughing.
very lotty one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ramsey, thanks so much for joining me on the show tonight. I really appreciate it. Good luck with everything, and I really hope we get to meet one day.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's really, really a pleasure for us to be in the part of the interview. And thank you for the support and to believe on us on Jigulator. Thank you very much.